All right, everyone. We're going to talk really quickly about showing the garage door in section, showing a door through the exterior of through interior. Well, we'll say interior and exterior door, and a window. Really, really quick. We're going to throw this together. It sounds a lot more complicated than it actually is. It's not really all that difficult to deal with. Here I am. I'm looking at my ground floor. You can tell there's my garage door right there. So I'm going to come down here. Zoom in. I'm going to offset my floor line up 80 inches. That's 6'8". Is that right? Might actually be 7 foot. A garage door might actually be 7 foot, maybe even 8 foot. I'd have to double check. You know what? Let's just call it 8 feet. We'll call it 8 feet and we'll be done with it. So offset the slab line 8 inches. I'm going to extend this so it goes all the way through that exterior wall. There we go. I'm going to trim all that out. Trim that off. And just so happens I accidentally grabbed this, so I need to get rid of that little line right there. That would imply a very different foundation than we do here in the Texas area. They do the kind of stuff that's called a floating slab. They do that in other areas, so they don't do it a whole lot here, at least that I'm not aware of. It depends on the expansiveness of the soil conditions that you're actually building on top of as to whether or not they do that. Okay. Big giant hole for my garage door. I'm going to make layer 3 my current layer. I'm going to draw a rectangle. That was a rectangle. There we go. And I'm going to track from that inside corner outside. That's going to be 7 inches. And then, let's see. Yeah, I'll do it that. Let's see if I can do it that way. I'm going to mirror. Dang, I got the wrong spot. Yeah, it's not going to want to be pretty. Okay, fine. Mirror him. You notice I mirrored him on a 45 so that he would come out vertical oriented. Move him to the back. Select him, click the middle grip so that I can modify him coming straight down this way, and basically run him down into the ground. Da, 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 there we go. Pretty much just like that. Now the only thing I'm missing is put a line on layer 2. And I'm going to start from this outside edge of the door. I'm going to go outside 7 inches because that's the thickness of the jamb for the garage door that we're showing in plan. So then we come up to the top of the wall. Come on. Come on. There we go. They'll hit right there. And then I'm going to copy that line to here because this is the line of the brick just beyond. You know what? They're so close. We probably ought to make them both. They're close to each other, so I'm going to make them both red. We'll see what that looks like. There we go. I think. Yep. And that's basically the garage door in section. Now, window is actually very similar. I'm going to do this, even though I'm going to do this on the second floor, but the same general principle holds. Unless you're doing it for artistic reasons, basic residential window is 3 feet from the floor. I mean, think of it in a kitchen. You know, if your countertop is 3 feet high and you don't want a window that's any lower than that, especially if you have a window that's in front of your sink, then your window is going to be 3 foot off the ground as well. So there's that. I believe we have a 9-foot ceiling here. Let me take a look. We have 9 foot. Yes, 9 foot. So I want 8 foot tall windows. So I can either offset 8 feet from the bottom, or 5 feet from the other line, or 1 foot from the top where the ceiling drawn. All pretty much amounts to the same thing. 8 foot tall for the window. Alrighty. You saw I moved those lines over, and I'm just going to use my trim command to wipe all this stuff out, just like that. All I really need to see for your windows is I'm going to copy this exact same jam condition. I'll make another copy of it. Like that. And then 3 vertical lines. Well, actually, there's going to be a total of 4. Now, again, if we were working in a real honest-to-goodness residential type architectural environment, there is a lot more information that we would be putting in here, but we're not going to be worried about that right now. I'm going to make this one line weight 1. I'm going to leave those outer 2 lines line weight 2. I'm going to make the middle line line weight 3 because that's the pane of glass that we're actually cutting through. And then extend that, close that off just like that. Now, if your window has a mullion in the middle of it, so in elevation, this particular window is going to look kind of unremarkable. And let's just assume that this window is 3 feet wide. Now, obviously, I don't have one, but let's pretend that I'm looking that. Let's pretend that the wall turns a corner right here, and that I'm able to stand next to this window and look ahead to look outside to another window, through another window. That'll work. Come on. There we go. And so what I'll do is when I project these things out, I'll always offshoot what I need to do. Make it bigger than what I need to. So let's say that's going to be the hole for my window. I'll draw a rectangle. Intersection to intersection. I can then delete these lines. Offset 2 inches. Now something like this is your standard run-of-the-mill commercial type window, single pane of glass. You're not going to be able to open it for nothing. For the purposes of this assignment, because I have the sneaking suspicion that you guys are going to want windows that'll open. I'm going to stretch that window, but I'm going to start 1 inch above that corner. And I'm going to go to the midpoint. Pull back so I can see what I'm doing. There we go, to the middle. Mirror. Super, super basic, operable window. I'm not worried about showing which pane opens and which one doesn't. There's a whole lot of detail that's actually missing, but with something like this, I get the idea this is a window that's supposed to open. What's missing from the section is I need another one of these in the middle. And then the glazing gets trimmed out. Again, there is a boatload of information missing from this, but we're not doing detailed drawings. Okay, this is just, think of this as schematic. We're doing a pricing plan, or we're getting the approval from the owner as to whether or not what we want to do is what we want to do. For a regular type door, it's almost the same as a garage door. The only real difference, most residential doors are 6'8" tall, so that's 80 inches. So I'm going to offset my floor line 80 inches, and that's under the floor line. There we go. And then we have the frame, but the frame is outside the size of the window, so we need another offset of 2 inches. There we go. Stop. TR for trim. There we go. Okay, just like that. And then a rectangle. I'll zoom in. 2 inches back. And it runs all the way to the floor. There we go. And since we're cutting through it, it is going to be green. And then one line here because we need to see the other side of the door frame. Okay, super quick and easy. The door is going to open on this side. That's the direction the door is going to swing. To show this in elevation, 90% of the time your doors are going to be on line weight 1. If they're not on line weight 1, then put them on the pattern layer. Whatever size your door is. In this case, I'm going to make the door 24 inches. So we go, and this is just how I do it because years and years of having done it, this for me is just really efficient. I go up 80 inches. I go over 2 feet. I go back down, except it didn't work right. Straight down. There we go, just like that. I offset that 2 inches to the outside. I used a polyline, so one offset command does that whole thing. And then whichever direction that I want the door to swing, go to the pattern layer. Inside, of course it didn't line up. To the midpoint, to that corner, zoom in. There we go. And then change its properties to hidden 2. And this is the side with the hinge on it. So there we go. Garage door in section, standard door inside, door in elevation, regular window, window in elevation. Now a standard door on the outside of the house is identical to a garage door. It's probably going to be more 8 feet tall. You want to have a taller door, maybe a monumental type entrance as you enter the house. The only difference is that the door for the garage door starts tucked underneath, just like for an interior door, but it's going to have the same type of projection that we see going on here. So instead of the rectangle for the door being located outside the door frame, it's tucked underneath the door frame like it is on an interior door. That's really the only difference. All right. Hope this helps, guys. We'll see you guys in class.